Good morning from Belém in the state of Para in Brazil, where I'm giving a very brief update on the climate COP30 negotiations and related matters. In addition to the formal negotiation proceedings, as is typical, there's a very large civil society presence, including in the green zone, which is open to the public, where there's an incredible diverse and rich presence of many civil society organisations, public good and also for profit. There's a massive presence outside the formal green and blue zones, the blue zone being the government negotiating zone, including a huge march, peaceful march by about, I think I read 60,000 people. And of course, Belém is near the Amazon, so there's an incredible presence of indigenous tribal people and communities and local communities, Quilombola communities from the Amazon region and in fact across all of Brazil. The formal negotiation process, as always, is very tense, terse and difficult and complex. On the list there is a list of the formal agenda items that are being negotiated, and on the right hand side you can see a traffic light system showing you that only about a third of them have been completed and the text agreed to. So there's an incredible amount of work left to be done by the diplomats and delegates and negotiators over the coming week. Of course, civil society here is in great numbers too, and that expands everyone from the Climate Action Network International. Every country like Australia, as I'm sure everyone listening to this knows, is the way in which environmental and social justice groups are coordinated and have input into the negotiation process by talking to delegates and providing them with evidence and arguments as to why certain decisions should be made in certain ways. At the other end, of course, there's a very large number of fossil fuel industry representatives, if you like, arguing the other side of the coin. Three key outcomes to watch for, in addition or parallel and wrapped around this formal negotiating agenda, are roadmaps, which is a mechanism being proposed by the Brazil COP presidency as a way of progressing past decisions that COPs have made but have yet to be implemented. And these are called roadmaps. So they're roadmaps which will map out commitments and mechanisms and ways by which these decisions can be implemented. Of course, this COP is meant to be the COP of implementation. One of those is a roadmap for phasing out fossil fuels. Some of you may recall that at the Dubai COP in COP28, 2 years ago, there was a decision to phase out fossil fuels. It was the first time this had been mentioned at a climate COP. And so now the proposal is that we have a roadmap for actually delivering on that decision. The second is a finance roadmap. The main means of implementation and a barrier to implementation of climate action is finance, particularly for the developing world, so a roadmap is urgently needed for that. And a forest roadmap. There have been commitments dating back to Glasgow to end deforestation and forest degradation, but there has been little progress within the COP process, climate COP process. So as the Panama head of delegation said yesterday, if we can't get a forest roadmap, if we cannot get a forest roadmap here in the Amazon, will we ever get one? So to me, in addition to the formal negotiating points that I showed on the previous slide, I think there's great prospects, and I would say hope, that we will get those three roadmaps as major outcomes of COP30 here in Belém. Thank you.